That $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund may not happen after all. The Trump administration basically said it was backing off for now. And this doesn't mean this is over. And honestly, this could still go either way. And I'm going to explain why in this video. But first, the Department of Justice released this short statement on its social media page this afternoon saying that the DOJ disagrees strongly with the federal judge in Virginia who, as I told you in this video on Friday, ruled that the Trump administration cannot do anything with this fund for the next 2 weeks. They cannot work on it. They cannot even look at claims made by people who say they were politically prosecuted by the U.S. government. And they certainly cannot disperse one single cent from this fund until this Virginia judge takes a look. The statement ends by saying the department will abide by the court's ruling. And that's the statement leading everyone to say the Trump administration is backing off of the fund. Now, obviously, it's the law to abide by a judge's ruling. That's how our system works. But it's still something we don't hear very often from the Trump Department of Justice, especially when a ruling doesn't go their way. We usually hear the DOJ trash the judge and then say they will appeal immediately. But they did not do that this time. But as I mentioned, this could still go either way. And that's because while the DOJ says it would still abide by the judge's ruling today, that doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. They could absolutely still appeal. And most importantly, we have not heard directly from President Trump on this yet. And he is known to always appeal a ruling that he doesn't like or he doesn't think goes his way. He does not give up very easily in these scenarios. So it's also possible when the political backlash about this fund dies down, he could try and resurrect it. But the other side of the coin is President Trump may be forced to give up this fund, whether he likes it or not. And that's because the federal judges will likely move forward with these cases, even if the Trump administration wants to drop the fund. And it's not just that federal judge in Virginia who was involved in all of this. The DOJ conveniently left out of its statement today that there's another federal judge who's also involved. A federal judge in Miami also blocked this fund, also on Friday. And it just so happens that Miami judge is the one who is overseeing President Trump's $10 billion lawsuit against the IRS that started this whole saga. President Trump dropped that lawsuit when he and his own DOJ came up with this out-of-court settlement that included the $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund and also came up with a deal that the IRS cannot audit or even investigate Trump's previous tax returns for himself, his family, his extended family, or his businesses. The Miami judge never saw that deal, nor did she approve of that settlement because they came up with it out of court. But now she's absolutely going to take a look after a bipartisan group of 35 retired federal judges brought it to her attention that it's very possible the president and the DOJ may have committed a fraud on the court. The former judges claimed that Trump was controlling both sides of the litigation, which is illegal. In her ruling on Friday, the judge wrote, "A party's decision to file a frivolous lawsuit for the sole purpose of forcing a settlement may qualify as such an improper purpose." She says it's her responsibility to investigate the circumstances surrounding Trump's effort to settle this lawsuit in a way that perhaps benefited himself and his allies. So if you want to read either of these judges'